Hello, hello there. Hello again. Hats off, or whatever. Um, okay, I know the last talk I gave was kind of downward mood focused, not seeing the answers to things. I'm in a better better mood now than I was when I made that last video. I have a little bit more clarity, a little bit more flow. I can't remember what the topic was. It might have been about going to school. As it stands now, so I think that was like last Friday I made that video. Yesterday was the first day of school. I went to school yesterday, and I went to school today, and had a great time in my class yesterday. Incredibly fascinating topic. It's a humanities class, and the teacher, the professor, is using the focus of the topic of hell to educate us about the humanities, which is a cultural, artistic, musical, historical approach to understanding society and civilization and stuff like that. But it's all about hell. Hell is like the core. And anybody that's got an interest in horror, film, or literature, that's how hell is a big topic. So it's something I've given a lot of thought and devotion to over the years, in an artistic sense. And that's part of why I wanted to take this class, was to become artistically inspired, to have some new motivation for things I wanted to create as an artist. Anyway, the class was great. It was a full class. There were over 30 students there. Not everybody, like on the first day, was talking, but a lot of people spoke up and were contributing to the discussion on the first day, which is encouraging, and including myself. And I came up with a couple of ideas that I thought I could use for the topic for the final, essay that you have to write. And I ran them by him, and he goes, "You know what? These aren't hell-centric enough." He goes, "You actually got it. This has to be something that actually carries the characters into hell. And being on this side of the gate of hell is not succinct enough of an exploration into hell." So one of the ideas I had was Eugene O'Neill's play "The Iceman Cometh," and the metaphor of the Iceman is taking place in New York City back in the 30s, during the Depression. Everybody's out of work, everybody's poor and broke, and they're sitting in this bar drinking. All the characters are drinking together, and they're telling their life, the woes of their life story, which is some hellish descriptions. And the Iceman that they're waiting for to bring ice so they can have ice in their beer, the metaphor is the Iceman is death, and death is their escape from this world. So I thought, oh yeah, that's hell. And he goes, "No, it's not. That's not. That does not have a focus point of hell in the story." And he goes, "That won't work." And I was like, "Wow, okay." So I had to start thinking deeper. And then I came up with another idea of, there's a movie. He gave a list of movies that people could use as inspiration for their papers. And some of them I was like, that's not hell they're talking about. Like, he gave Rosemary's Baby as an option. And Rosemary's Baby's all on this side of death. Even though it's demonic and it's witchcraft, because there was another movie I told him about. It's a movie based from a story. Oh my God, this is not what I came on here to talk about. What the hell, man? Get to the point. Jeez. I feel so guilty about taking up people's time and wasting time. Okay, so today I go to class. I go to my in-person watercolor class with my teacher, Jane, that taught me how to draw a year ago. She's a hard teacher, but she's really good, and she really teaches you strong fundamentals and holds you to, a level of accomplishment that is a high mark to achieve. And so I was like, yeah, I can learn really good skills from her. I was in class today and she showed us what all the projects are. She showed us samples of what students last year did for the projects that she has for us. And I was like, wow, yeah, this is not much different than what we did in the drawing class, because she wants you to draw things that look realistic. And fair enough, that's good. That's fair. But I'm not good at realistic. I'm not good at realistic. But anyway, I said, I can do this. I can do this. I'm going to do it. I even came home. Okay, so one of my quandaries about taking this class was she really wants you to have high quality paints and paper with no leniency. I mean, I didn't want to take up 20 minutes of her time, off on the side saying, can you explain to me why? Why do we have this high standard? Why can't you just let, poor students use poor quality stuff, and as long as they get the shapes and everything right? And I guess it's just she's been painting for most of her life, and she's been teaching for 40 years. What the hell? Because the teacher I had last semester for watercolor, she didn't care. All she cared about was having the right colors, like the exact colors that she suggested, which I didn't have. My colors were close, but they weren't exact, and they were cheap brand paints and cheap brand paper, and she was fine with that. Anyway, whatever. So anyway, I came home from class today, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna plop down $170 on this paint and paper so I can make the teacher happy. And she said, actually, the paint, I asked one of the students that had been in the class before, I said, is this paint you run out of it halfway through the class and you got to go buy more? And they said, no, the tubes are so big that you've got paint left over at the end. So that was one of my fears in the preceding year. I was going through these little tubes of paint really fast, and I thought, no, and I can't afford to have to buy expensive paint that second time. Anyway, that's not going to be an issue. But I got home and I was like, okay, I'm going to call up and place my order for these materials. And just before I was going to call in, I got an email from my brother. And my home situation with my brother, he's my housemate, but we're kind of like split workmates. Like we work for the same company, but we go on different assignments. And he said he just heard today from somebody who had told him about a month ago that they might need him. He's been on call in case these people needed him to work for them. And there's somebody he's worked for before, and he's like the only person these people can get to work for them and that trust him and that know their dogs. And it's kind of a can't say no situation. So he said he doesn't even know what the dates are yet. He's waiting to hear what the dates are, but they did call today and said it looks like we're going to need him. They're going to need him. And so my mind's just spinning. I'm like, but in seconds I come to a resolution. I said, well, it's going to be too complicated for me to go to my new job in Lafayette, go to school 4 days a week, and then if he's gone to this other job in another city, the other end of the county, where he won't have a car, because we only have one car in this household shared business thing, that means I would also have to go home every day to feed the cat and the parakeets. And so I just said to myself, I can't do that. That's too much. That's too much. And this goes back to where I was last week in the video. I think this is what I talked about, saying, maybe I don't even need to go to school. I can learn all this stuff on YouTube. And so that's kind of where I'm at now, that if he gets this job and it's like a week or longer of me having to go home every day on top of all this other stuff, because this next job I'm going to is really complicated. 4 pets, very unique individual personalities, complex eating habits, and I can't leave them alone very long, and it's going to be a hard job, and it's 13 days long. I'm getting paid a lot of money for that. And even before school started, I said, just with how difficult that job's going to be, going to school on top of it was going to be hard. So now going to school, doing that hard job, and then also having to go home every day, plus the gas money to go home every day and drive to school. It's too much. It's too much. So I have come to a peaceful resolution that if he says he's got this job, I'm going to call up the college tonight and just drop out of my classes after just one day. I had a great time. In one day, I had a really good, fulfilling time getting to meet these teachers. Today I got to meet the art history teacher whose class I'm in. I have 3 classes. And I got to meet her in person, even though she's teaching an online class. So I got to sit and talk with her for a little bit, and that was fun. I love teachers. I love school. I love college. I love libraries. I love museums. I love learning new stuff. But sometimes it's not the right time. And this kind of feels like it's not going to be the right time for me to stay in school. Okay, oh my God, 11 minutes. Okay, that's what I have to say. Look how peaceful I am. Look at how Where do I find your eyes? Are your eyes up here? Look how peaceful I am. I'm so content about this. And just the past couple of days, I've been watching a lot of YouTube watercolor tutorials. There's so much stuff I can learn just from doing these. And I also thought I might take the samples of her assignments, Jane's assignments for the watercolor class, and just do them myself. and then send them in to her and go, I don't need to come to school to learn how to do this. Except I wouldn't be using the expensive products. Okay, bye. Bye.